I have some more questions to ask of our first guest this morning. You know, the wicked weather that's been rolling through town, not only here, all the way stretching all the way up through into the Panhandle. The entire state has seen, we've had some pretty wicked weather roll through here in the spring. And it got me to thinking, as I'm watching the images of damage coming in from all over the state, I wonder if those people were covered. Because how many times have you heard it? Oh, I didn't find out we didn't have the right insurance until I needed it. Then I found out I've been paying this whole time, and I don't have the right type of coverage. We've had these individuals on with us before because we were talking about in advance of hurricane season and what that means to we here in Houston. But right now, dealing with spring storms that could pop up at any moment across the state, and we have a well-traveled population here. So anywhere you're traveling around Texas, it could be a bit of a liability for you. Alec Stewart joining me once again, insurance industry expert, knows Houston pretty well. Alec is with Eagle Independent Insurance Agency. Alec, welcome back to the Voice of Texas.
Hi, good morning.
Well, let's start off with the number one blind spot, the number one problem that you're finding when you do evaluations of people's coverage they currently have, or the sob stories or the horror stories you hear from people who discovered, I didn't have the right coverage. What's the number one blind spot that people have?
The number one blind spot that we find most people have is that they don't really understand how their homeowners' wind and hail deductibles work. So they may not realize that over the last couple of years that their deductible may have changed, that they may have talked to their agent said, hey, listen, to keep the premium down, let's adjust the deductible. And in many cases, deductibles have gone up from 1% to 2% or even higher. So many people don't realize that that means twice as much money out of pocket if they were to have a wind or a hail claim.
So, okay, so that means you're going to be paying more out of pocket just to keep your monthly, or however we pay quarterly at the Salcedo household. So the quarterly premium stays down at a manageable rate, but there's a trade-off there because when there is a claim, you got more money out of pocket, right?
Absolutely, and that's one of the major reasons why everybody should do an evaluation of their insurance and take it to an independent agent that has multiple different carriers and policies to give you options. Many people are with captive carriers that can only offer one option, like Farmers, State Farm, Allstate. And unfortunately, insurance is not a one-size-fits-all product, and everybody's situation is a little different. So my advice to keep your premiums down and to get the right coverage is to take your insurance to an independent agent for an evaluation.
Now, why is that? Why do you stress independent agent? Why is that important?
Most people don't even really realize that independent agents are out there and what they offer. And what they offer are options. Many of them have multiple carriers, 20, 30. And what they do is they can take your policies, do a complete evaluation of your carrier coverage or premium, discuss it with you, and then go out and get a whole bunch of quotes. And what will end up happening is you'll get a tailored policy that fits your needs, but in addition to that, you'll save money, and then they'll do it again at each renewal. So they'll keep your premiums down over the long term.
All right, we're talking with Alec Stewart. He is with Eagle Independent Insurance Agency. There's an advantage to having, well, I guess this is how I read it, and I think the last time you and I spoke, you had said, if you go to insurance company A, they're going to say, okay, well, here are our products, and they're going to want to sell you on our products. The advantage of going to somebody like you guys is that you shop everybody. Are you able to leverage any way your independent status to get, I don't know, better?
Absolutely. I mean, that's one of the things we do. Is as we go in, we have relationships with our carriers, and as we go in and negotiate the pricing, we'll talk about different items, different things that have happened, claims history, and do what we can to try to get the premium down. And then, of course, if there's a claim or a billing issue or anything like that, we're the client's advocate. We're your advocate. So those two arms are invaluable, but the results are what people don't really realize until they actually go and try it out and work with an independent agent. Now,
we have heard the horror stories of some insurance policies, and I know they vary or they vary widely across the companies. But we all, for example, a couple of years ago, my fence blows down in a storm, And I had wondered if if my pickets went flying and went through my car windshield or my car's side windows, would I be covered because of these fine lines? Oh, you know what? We covered storm damage, but we didn't cover the picket through the windshield coverage. You didn't buy that picket. I mean, are they pretty much done with doing that kind of thing to weasel out of making payments and insurance? By and large, in insurance, are they prohibited by law from doing that type of fine-tooth designation to keep from paying, or is that a common practice still?
Yeah, no. So surprisingly enough, a lot of insurance carriers have very different policies, and some of the things are covered and some aren't. And so what I always recommend is if you're going to do an evaluation with an independent agent, or even if you're going to talk to your current agent, go through your policy, look at what questions you have, and then run through a bunch of what-if questions. What if, my tree falls down and half of it's on my neighbor's yard and half of it's on mine? Your picket fence scenario. Any what-ifs that you might have, go over, but also look at your auto as well and make sure that you have uninsured and underinsured motorists, and double-check your limits, because minimum state auto limits are typically not adequate for most people. So double-check your limits. The pricing on that is not usually that much different. And double-check and see if you have uninsured and underinsured motorists in case you were to get hit by somebody that doesn't have insurance.
Gotcha. Alec Stewart, Eagle Independent Insurance Agency. Appreciate it, sir. Thank you for your time and expertise this morning on the Voice of Texas.